My name is Brett Banfe, and welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Builders. Today, I'm joined with my guest, Miles Malik of Champions TCG. Miles, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Doing wonderful. Yeah, so my first question to you, Champions TCG, what is a TCG? And explain to me what Champions TCG is all about.
Yeah, so a TCG is the trading card game. And Champions TCG is a digital trading card game. Where players collect cards, build 25 to 30 card decks to multiplayer battle against one another. And we happen to be using the back end of BSV and blockchain to accomplish this. It provides some unique things that some of the giants in this industry, like Blizzard and Wizards of the Coast, we feel have overlooked.
What are some of the unique things that your approach to a digital trading card game offer that maybe a company like Wizards of the Coast or Blizzard are unable to do, and how is blockchain a component of that?
Basically, Hearthstone, which is one of the biggest biggest digital trading card game. They sell users packs of cards via credit card. Kind of where they miss out is these players are not able to, buy, sell, or trade them with their friends. Whereas, with our game, we are about to have a mint here on the 21st of September where our customers or potential players can purchase these cards with a credit card, the same experience that they get on Hearthstone. We're going to take care of all the blockchain stuff on the back end. But with our game, the players immediately will be able to, buy, sell, and trade cards.
Wonderful. And, obviously when you're talking about using a model like blockchain, BSV blockchain to disrupt such a large industry, I mean, these are really significantly sized companies that you're competing against. The ability to buy and trade and sell the cards that you earn is a real key advantage that you have that blockchain enables. But what about distribution? How is blockchain enabling you to compete with these giants of companies through a product like a digital trading card game that maybe you would need to be a much larger size company to be able to compete with that same distribution if you weren't using blockchain?
Yeah, I mean, ours are digital cards. So, especially with BSV, we're able to put these cards on the blockchain for, fractions of a penny. So, whereas Wizards of the Coast has to print, package, ship all these cards, it becomes very expensive. We've found out that a lot of these card shops that are buying from Wizards are, they're buying a pack of cards for $3.50 and they're selling a pack of cards for $3.70. Sometimes they're just breaking even on it because the company doesn't have any control over the minimum price. So, some of these shops that have gotten, games like Magic the Gathering to this point kind of are getting left out to dry right now. So our kind of approach here is we want to approach these stores, kind of set up like digital storefronts for each unique store. For example, we could have championstcg.com/game store one, and any card packs that are purchased through that link, or there'll be QR codes set up on posters in these shops. But any cards that are purchased through that link, we can pass on along, much of the profits. Say a pack of cards is $5 or so. I mean, since our cards are thousandths of a penny, we technically could pass along 100% of the profits for these first initial supporting stores, which is an idea we've kicked around. But the main thing that has gotten their interest, and we've only visited about a dozen to 15 stores at this point, but really, so not only can they sell these card packs, we can also track which cards were opened inside those card packs. So, some of the viewers might be more familiar with Pokemon, for example, but yeah, say, game store number one sold a Charizard out of there. That Charizard went and sold on the secondary market for a few $1,000s. We can track all that and instantly, distribute those royalties to the store for the lifetime of the card. So that Charizard could sell 15 times over the next 10 years. And, all of those royalty payments would go to that initial store, that sold the card. And I think that's like the unique approach that, we're taking. And it seems to, be picking up some momentum. And we're having some very interesting conversations at this point, but it's exciting. And yeah, blockchain and BSV kind of enables us to do these kind of things.
That is phenomenal. I mean, I know, like, I'm a long time Magic the Gathering player, and I have a great relationship with a lot of in-person stores. If these stores could actually earn some revenue from every pack of cards that they open, that I opened in their location, that is extremely like disruptive. And so I guess one question I had is, you've released sort of like a pre-alpha launch of your card distribution. What is the size of that release, and what has been the attitude and the aptitude for those assets so far? How many have sold, and what has been the I guess the appetite from those stores as far as this new revenue model? Is it something that they're needing to get a little bit more coaching on, or are they instantly seeing that opportunity?
So we've launched about 40,000 cards to date. We did a 10,000 card launch on BSV, where there was, packs available to mint. You could buy single cards, you could buy, 5 packs, 10 packs, 25 card packs. And yeah, that sold out, basically within like 30 minutes or so. Then we went ahead and launched 30,000 cards on BTC, basically BTC ordinals. And there was some, uh, you know, issues there with the ability to do packs and things like that. Also with the Bitcoin network, there is like, a UTXO issue. So the minting experience was kind of clunky, where you had to mint one card, wait for your UTXOs to get sent back. Sometimes it took 30 minutes or an hour before you could buy your second card. And yeah, note that players need 25 to 30 of these cards to even be able to enter a, match, let alone the luck of the draw of them getting 30 cards that are good enough to enter is not good. So, people are minting 40, 50, 60 cards. So yeah, that experience was much less fun on BTC, but I mean, still, it minted out within about 3 days as well. It was just basically nonstop, single card sales. So we ran into that, and yeah, I mean, kind of our approach has been, uh, we're not specific to any chain. We're not one chain maxis. We've been approached to by Litecoin, Dogecoin to mint cards there as well, and yeah, I mean, we're definitely exploring that option. Uh, but yeah, we're this next one is going to be like basically credit cards. So we just think that kind of like supersedes any minting on any chain. Like basically anyone interested in the game can buy this with a credit card. And yeah, as far as all this back end stuff and doing things with credit cards, which is what our customers are going to be used to from Hearthstone, is yeah, like we can do all this back end stuff and we can do it for very cheaply, like on the BSV network. So it provides us a lot of value moving forward. I mean, if anything else comes up that can compete with this, we're open to, utilizing that technology. But right now, BSV, offers us the, a competitive advantage really moving forward.
I have to imagine that with an initial reaction and launch that was so successful and popular, I mean, you have to have like a large team, or what size team do you have at Champions TCG?
Yeah, no, it's a small team. There's like 4 of us. We've been, yeah, I mean, so we sold out basically all of the cards. They were like three or so dollars. We've, I think the mint was around 200 grand. We've had, there's been what 250,000 in secondary sales as well. So it's been popular on the secondary market. But no, like we're a very small team. Our motto is, we just wanted to push a minimum, an MVP product out, at the same time that these cards were available to launch so people could use them. I mean, so much stuff in this, especially in crypto in particular. It's like, oh, wait 6 months. This is what's going to happen. Like, that's not cool. That's not fun. So we wanted to take a different approach where even if the product isn't, as good as it's going to be, it's out there and we are shipping, hot fixes, all day, every day, around the clock. We've got a team of 4 people, 2 of them located down in Australia, New Zealand area. So it's like created this kind of like crazy environment where as soon as we go to sleep here on this end, we got 2 members here in the U.S. They're waking up and then they're working all night. So then when I wake up in the morning, there's just a wall of text of things that have been fixed and improved. And it just creates this like round the clock momentum that we're using to our advantage right now. Yeah, things are moving like very fast, almost too fast for some of the developers and artists. But yeah, it's great. Everyone's staying on their toes, and it's exciting right now.
It just strikes me as really kind of mind blowing that as just a small team of only 4 people, the blockchain is enabling you this distribution channel to actually get your cards out to the market to have, I think you said $500,000 in retail and aftermarket sales, and actually push out an MVP and see if there's a market appeal for it, and then to create those changes and to meet player demand. So I guess it leads me to my next question, which is just that, a lot of paper, TCG formats like Pokemon and like Magic, especially, they use their tournament scene as like kind of a way to distribute what the expert perspectives are on the various different cards. What's your approach and what's your thoughts around maybe like setting up tournaments and how are you taking feedback in from your player base, whether it's through competitive structures or just through casual structures? Is there a balance between that? Do you emphasize one or the other?
Yeah, so we're currently running tournaments every single day. There's a daily tournament, free to enter. It's $50. Since for I think the last 4 weekends now, we're running a weekend tournament, free to enter, $500 prize pool. I mean, so yeah, like we want to step in as like a leader potentially in this category. With some of these games like Hearthstone have dropped off their organized play. A lot of these digital things like aren't doing well, and TCGs kind of got left behind the rest of the gaming sector as far as like prizes and tournaments. And you see Fortnite guys making millions of dollars and stuff, but that said, the player base of TCGs is about 100 million players, like monthly active players. So this is massive. This is competing with like Fortnite and all of these other games. It just hasn't gotten the support there. And yeah, kind of our avenue here is like we want to take the savings that we're able to save with this back end blockchain stuff and like redistribute this throughout the ecosystem. So not only will that go into like tournaments and competitive play, but like redistribute it to the players and the stores and all of these people that have just kind of they're getting squeezed right now. And yeah, like that money's still there, that passion is still there. People are spending money on all of these things, but it's just like going to this like one company instead of it being shared with this whole the whole industry, the people that keep it alive. So yeah, that's kind of like where we're at. And yeah, we think it's big to support these, you know, uh, big tournaments and organized play. It's like it's what this whole game about. It's like a mind, it's a mind game when you're playing these card games. It isn't like you're just throwing cards down and it's luck. I mean, these people that are winning these tournaments and finishing top 8 and Magic the Gathering and stuff. I mean, it's the same people over and over, and there's a lot of passion in this vertical of TCGs, and it's a great opportunity for us, and yeah, we're definitely going to try to step in as a leader there in the organized play tournaments.
Sounds like there's an element of that too that sort of touches on poker, right? Where there's poker is like a lot of variance and a lot of chance, yet a lot of times you're seeing the same people who are successful at poker be successful at it, whether tournament after tournament after tournament. So somehow they manage. They're just better at calculating the risks that are involved with this game that has total variance, and I think it's phenomenal, and I have to applaud you. So I know that with the power of BSV blockchain, you're able to produce these assets for fractions of a penny per asset, and I don't know off the top of my head exactly how much it costs a major company like Hearthstone or Wizards of the Coast to produce their product. But I have to imagine that whatever it costs them, it's probably more than just fractions of a penny. So I'm really interested to see the unique business go-to-market strategies that arise when you can actually compete with them on the price of your product, and also not only that, but add the additional benefit of a player that earns or that is able to win your product through a tournament experience or purchase your product through retail shelf. Um, that they're able to actually, instead of just getting stuck with that, maybe they get something that they weren't looking to use that specific season, but maybe they can at least sell it to a friend or trade it to a friend that does want to use it. So I just think that is such a novel use case for using the blockchain as a tool to power your gaming experience. And I guess it leads me to a question where I want to kind of dig into your interest in gaming itself. Are you interested in kind of like League of Legends, CS:GO? I'm an old school, way back in the day, the Warcraft. Not the massive multiplayer version of Warcraft, but all the way back to the original stuff. What's like kind of your passion around kind of online gaming, and what about TCGs? Like, what were some of the ones that you got into?
Yeah, I mean, long time gamer. I've had every system since it came out. I mean, not going to get deep into it, but yeah, I was like a competitive Halo 2 player, sponsored, flying around to different tournaments back in 2010. So that was like as deep as I got. But yeah, it's like TCGs and stuff. I have tons of like fat binders of Pokemon cards and all of that. My friends play Magic. I mean, I'm a diehard gamer for sure. Like, it's a top hobby of mine. League of Legends, you mentioned. Yeah, I love League of Legends. I play not CSGO so much, but Valorant, which is similar to CSGO. But yeah, I've been doing it my whole life. So is like the rest of the team. We're all like passionate gamers. We play all these others and we see some of the shortfalls, and we just happen to be in this like blockchain space where we're like, this technology can solve some of these issues. I mean, like we said, it's not like Hearthstone or Blizzard, this multi-billion-dollar company doesn't want a marketplace and to take those fees and do that. But it's just like something difficult and clunky, and like they're not spending enough time on it. And it's like inherently what BSV is like good at is this little marketplace and stuff. And now it's just up to us to kind of like hide it. So that's what we're doing right now. And yeah, dude, this is a very fun project for us. We're all diehard gamers. And yeah, we're moving forward every day.
Yeah, one of the things, and I'd love to see a little bit of what it looks like from a gamer experience. But one of the things that is unique about your product is that the game experience and the game feel itself, is very similar to like a Hearthstone or kind of a Magic Arena. Just right off the bat. So talk to us about your strategy around that in terms of you are using Web3 components, you're using blockchain, and kind of you're burying that in as plumbing to how you deliver that gaming experience. But talk to me about the importance from your perspective as the project founder to making sure that the gaming experience that the player gets is up to standards for what they expect from other platforms that they could go to that maybe don't have blockchain as a component and don't have the ability to sell back your cards and to
Well,
earn some royalties and revenues as a store.
yeah, like I'm a diehard gamer. I'm like been in the Bitcoin space a long time, so I'm always playing any games that are coming out on blockchain or Bitcoin. It seems like where it's been most successful is like this arcade style, retro style game, which is like fun and it's cool to like Bitcoiners just because it's on Bitcoin. But like if you're trying to use it as an onboarding tool or, to get reach these people that are playing Fortnite and Call of Duty, it's so far off from that it's like, man, like whatever, like gaming's possible, but it's like gaming that was popular in the 1980s and 90s. Whereas like our approach is yeah, Hearthstone, like a TCG is just like feels so inherently like this should be linked. This for sure should be the first games that were built on Bitcoin. I mean, it's just like set up for it. It's like simply, I mean, and not only that is like you just, we're like subtly introducing like the blockchain. Like we're not doing every action is on chain and all of that stuff. We're just like kind of like utilizing the blockchain to verify that these cards are actually held by like our in players wallet. So that's like kind of our approach is just subtly introduce it on the back end. And yeah, that's how we're like moving forward as far as talking to all these like physical game stores and stuff. Like we're very hard nosed on separating the two. We don't want anyone to even realize that we're using blockchain and stuff. We're learning things like you don't want to even use the word wallet. That turns gamers off. They just have had bad experience, and the whole sector is like kind of scammy. So we want to keep it them separated as much as we can. So that's like our strategy moving forward is like we're just gonna lightly use it. If it affects user experience at all, like we're really not interested, but just subtly introduce this and cover cover it all up. It's just the plumbing.
Do you happen to have a tutorial of the video?
Yeah, we've got one right here. I think we can pull it up.
Perfect. Let's take a look.
Champions of Otherworldly Magic is an epic fantasy card game where you can collect, trade, and battle unique NFT cards featuring powerful creatures, spells, and artifacts from otherworldly realms. Each card has an elemental type, attack stat, hit point stat, mana cost, and ability. Players use their NFTs to build a 25 to 30 card deck of their choice. Each player starts with 60 HP, 6 cards, and 1 maximum mana. Each turn, the player draws another card, and their maximum mana increases by 1, up to 10. Mana refreshes to full every turn. For a card to be played, mana must be spent equal to the card's mana cost. When a card is played on the field, it has to wait for 1 turn before attacking the enemy. However, each card, which was on the field prior to the current turn, can attack an enemy card or an enemy player. During an attack, the attacked card takes damage from the attacker and in turn causes damage to the attacker. When a card reaches 0 HP, it's sent to the graveyard. The ultimate goal of the game is to overcome the opponent by slashing their HP down to 0. Players can take advantage of the elemental bonus damage, card evolutions, and abilities to increase their power during the game. Players can upgrade their cards by playing an evolved card on top of the previous evolution for 0 mana cost. Players can also trigger the abilities of their cards to buff up their card's attack or defense stats, deal damage to their opponent's cards, freeze their opponent's card, and more. Each ability features a different combination of elemental type, effect, casting method, and targeting option, which makes it unique and spices up the gameplay. The abilities include Bless, Life Bloom, Earthquake, Vortex, Inferno, Whirlwind, Blizzard, Psybeam, Provoke, Rush, Guard, Hatch. Sounds fun, doesn't it? What are you waiting for? Immerse yourself in this magical otherworldly adventure. Play now at coombattles.com.
Wow, that's really wonderful, Miles. And I especially love the vocals on that. It really reminds me of some of those tutorial videos that I grew up watching on Magic the Gathering.
It's built for TV. Like that was the goal we had in mind. So yeah, glad you like it.
Would it be possible that we could see a little bit of what it looks like for me, kind of walking in as a brand new, user to your game, and what that experience looks like for me as a player?
Yeah, sure. I will pull my screen up now. So this is like our website, championstcg.com. This is the first thing that you're greeted with. Learn how to play, goes over a little bit of how our cards work. basically the whole the game's built around these like 12 different abilities that we have that affect your opponent's cards differently. But yeah, you just come in here to the website, click either of these play now buttons. It's going to take you into like our lobby area, which, let me remind everyone, this is like in beta, like we're shipping updates constantly, but like this is how it is now. It's fully functional. So you can go in here, you can see here, like I have my hand cash wallet connected, my ordinals wallet connected. And, what that allows me to do is, these are all the cards that I own here. This is the deck builder. So say I want to put some of these eggs in my deck, you can see them show up over here. But yeah, basically everyone comes in, you build a deck that you're, interested in playing in, and then, you're ready to play. So I'll just enter single player mode against the computer to kind of like showcase this. So, started off, I don't know what deck I had selected, but I have no 1 mana cards to play. So this here, threw out a fan favorite, which is Nordy. I'm going to just go ahead and send that back to him. Don't want him to use that. Put it back out again. I'm gonna hatch an egg in there, take him out. And yeah, I mean, basically the whole goal of the game is both players start with like 60 HP, and you want to attack the opponent, and first one to go to 0 first wins. It's a simple game for people to understand. We've had about, I don't know what the numbers are, but we've had like, I think almost 4,000 games played in the last 2 weeks. We've, have almost 700 players. Just us watching like the server dashboards last night, like, there was 10 concurrent games going at one time last night. It's like a fun thing to do on Bitcoin. But yeah, very simple game, quick and easy to learn. But, as you dive deeper into it, the strategy is there. We're, working with some, this isn't like it's just some Bitcoin people. We are approaching these stores. We're talking to the people inside the stores that are playing these games, and like the feedback that we're getting, like even on the game in this state is pretty incredible. So there's a lot of that there. It's people that are playing these other games that are liking it, not just Bitcoiners. So, we think we're onto something here. We think this is a unique, Trojan horse for Bitcoin to get people involved.
That's amazing. And so one of the things that immediately comes to my mind is that you're in somewhat of a unique position in that when you're approaching this industry, the digital trading card game, in that because you're using blockchain and BSV specifically to leverage the power of the distribution channel to be able to get your cards out to various different players, that you're able to sort of take that money that maybe you as a small team would have to otherwise, set aside to work on the actual distribution of your product, to work on the how to get these various different assets into the hands of your collectors or your players, which I'm interested to learn what kind of balance you feel you have between people who are just strictly collecting those because they think it could be the next Black Lotus or the next, Charizard, like you said, or versus people who are looking to actually pick up those cards because they are able to be used in a future tournament or in an upcoming event that you're hosting. I'm interested to learn that, but it really to me strikes me as that you're able to almost use the blockchain to supercharge the way that you're looking to scale your business up, to be able to actually reach that global market. So I guess my question is, where do you see, first of all, do you know how big this kind of market is in terms of both like the players, the amount of cards that exist in that space, but also how important are you finding scaling up to be for you at this present stage, and if you can also comment on the value that BSV using as the distribution channel gives you as a business owner to being able to focus on something like scaling up.
So I mean, there's 100 million monthly active players. Like within the entirety of TCGs, and that's games like Pokemon, Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering. A lot of these with inside those games, like Pokemon, for example, has 5.9 billion cards. So like for us to truly compete on a scale to compete with these guys, like we've got to put hundreds of millions, if not billions, of cards on chain, and that's not possible if the if the cost is even pennies. It's like only a unique approach if we can get the cost down to these thousands of pennies. So yeah, we only have 40,000 cards in the system right now. That's like basically zero. And even upcoming here on the 21st, there's a million cards. So it's, uh, and I guess it leads into your other question is, the collector's value versus the player's value. And we have a lot of people that have only experience with this kind of stuff has been like through NFTs. So they did it to us when we went from 10,000 to 30,000 cards on Bitcoin. Like, oh no, that's too many. Like, what are you doing? You're diluting my supply. And then now we're like, okay, like we're about to do a million of it. And now they're coming at us, hard. Like, oh my God, like my cards are going to be worth nothing. And it's like, we're not a NFT project. They're, the collector's value is inherent within this market of like TCGs. They kind of go hand in hand. I mean, if it's a good card in game, it's likely got collector's value. So people that aren't interested in the game do snipe some of these cards, but it's it damages the game of it. We only have 40,000 cards right now. Some of our best cards, which are needed to compete because the card pool is so small, are selling. Some of our cards are selling for $4,000 and hundreds of dollars. Like just to build a competitive deck to compete in ranked like today is costing you $500 like at minimum, and you're still going to have trouble, and that's not fun for anybody. Like part of the advantage that BSV brings is like we can sell these cards for a penny, and we're not in the whole to get these out, they've got to be like a low cost thing. So it's really the only, BSV currently is like the only place where this is possible. Some of these other chains, which do boast, oh, we've got low fees and, we can do this as well. They just like can't today. Whereas like Hand Cash, throws together the pack mints and we're able to do that. Like today, we did it 3 months ago now, and just all of these things, tracking royalties and like all of that is, uh, you know, possible today. It's not like, oh, we can do that. Just wait and let me build it. Like, no, like we don't have time for that. We're really not interested. But like BSV kind of like having these things like sitting there that we can like utilize and kind of repackage or rebrand so people don't even really know it's BSV is massive. It's a huge competitive advantage. I mean, gets back to why aren't these other card companies doing it? Because it's just like not there. Like, it's not enough for the cards to be 5 cents each or like still super cheap, but you put a billion of those on there, that's a super expensive like endeavor. And it's unique when there are thousands of penny, just the directions and things you can do and where you can pass along the money to like make this successful. But yeah, really we're here to we want to disrupt this stuff. Like we play these games and like we're not happy with how they're currently operating, and we happen to know of or think we can do it better, and we're just like trying to show people like, look at this. If you want to dive into how it's possible and all that, like go ahead. But like if you don't, like it's a fun game to play that you can do things better with our game than you can on the giant games and all of these. So that's our approach. And yeah, BSV, blockchain provides us all these opportunities. So
It sounds to me like what you're saying is that, I guess a question that I might pose to you is, are you thinking of this as something where basically you have a 5-year window to sort of develop this out into the perfect game? Or do you really think that you really need to strike while this iron is hot right now because of what you're hearing from the physical game stores, from the dissatisfaction that you're hearing from the player base? And the follow-up question that I would have for you after that is just, it sounds to me from what you're describing that you would almost really enjoy it if some of these other companies like Hearthstone or Blizzard or Wizards of the Coast. I think I read that Wizards of the Coast, they did over $7 billion in revenue, and you're seeing that they're just missing this opportunity to use an asset like BSV as the underpinning, the plumbing, so to speak, of their digital gaming experience, but that you would almost welcome them to enter into that realization and to begin to compete using this technology, because it just, at the end of the day, delivers a better gaming experience for the players and also delivers a better overall economic incentives for those players to be able to sell back cards that they don't want or trade them to a friend without having to just leave them stranded on a platform that maybe has sort of left them high and dry.
Yeah, I mean the first part, like hell no, we're not waiting 5 years. Like, that's not my style. Like I hate that. I hate, oh, I've been in Bitcoin for too long and it's always wait 5 years. And like even in the BSV space, it's like, oh, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Just wait. Like, no, like we're getting a response. Like we want to, move as fast as possible. That's one of the benefits of being a small team. Not you wouldn't know we're a small team with how quickly like some of our updates and stuff are coming, but like it allows us to be nimble and like keep, you know, the pedal to the metal on this. And yeah, I mean, it's not like, there's no reason to wait. Like I've been saying, like maybe if we were working on these other chains and like, oh, if only this was possible, we could do it. Like we wouldn't have started this project if these things weren't possible right now. Like if we were going to run into a snag. So we like, basically just jump to these different, okay, like, is this possible today? Is this possible? And like everything is possible. It's not like years out to develop these things. Just, like the credit card thing, we wouldn't be doing this Mint if if Bitcoin was involved and you had to buy it, and like we couldn't go to these stores, and kind of our whole approach is shot if that's not possible. But like it is possible. Like we're doing it, we're testing it right now. Like, in 17 days, like you can buy NFTs with credit cards. Like that's pretty cool. I mean, just from an NFT guy, I bought tons of thousands of dollars of NFTs over the years. Like I would have bought more if I, could buy it straight with a credit card. So, and yeah, it's like welcoming Wizards of the Coast in and all of that. Like, yeah, just like we play all these games. Like I said, like it delivers us a better experience. Like it's cool. It, for us, just from this space, it's not really about just, showing what can be done with trading card games. It's like, this is how Bitcoin gets used. Like, it's like you can do this with other games and other businesses. It's like creating low cost assets on Bitcoin that can be used for things outside of Bitcoin. Like, everyone wants to do Bitcoin for everything. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't want a KYC. And, it's like, man, we got to like, bend over a little bit for some of these things to like get through the doors. And, you don't fight this huge war. It's just like you win one battle at a time. And like this is kind of like that. Like whatever. Yeah, credit cards are stupid when you could just do it in Bitcoin or BSV, but like that's not what people want to use right now. So you can sit here and bang your head against the wall, which is like what it's felt like for like 5 years. Trying to onboard people, and it's like created this whole thing where just it's a negative for us to use the word wallet now, because now everyone's heard of Bitcoin and can't do anything with it, and the whole crypto industry is like got this dark cloud over it. But it's like, there's still the value's still there. It's just like the narrative and the view of it from the public is bad. But it's providing a competitive advantage for us in this trading card game, and it does this everywhere. It's just people need to use it for like what it's good at, and then like tether that to what's the current accepted standard. And like that's the real opportunity here. And it's just like feels like people have missed it, but I mean that's great for us. Like we're here like ready to tackle this. And yeah, I mean, from all the different ideas that we can come up with for these low cost assets on chain, like a trading card game just like makes so much sense, man. Like we are excited if we're the lowest possible, the cheapest NFT you can ever get. Like that's the whole point. Like, that's the whole point of like BSV and everything. It's like, you can sell one of our cards for a half of a cent if you want. Like, go ahead. Like that, but that's cool because it's not possible anywhere else. It's like, it's much cooler to send an NFT to somebody that's interested in card games, and send them a card instead of a picture of a monkey or something. You get the picture of the monkey and somebody's like, okay, now what do I do with it? It just doesn't click in people's heads. But TCGs have been around a long time. Even people that aren't monthly players have had experience with it in the past. So you send them a card, they see the stats on it, they immediately register like, oh, like this could be used from somewhere else. And then, from the person sending its point of view, it's like a penny card. Like it doesn't really matter, but like that registers in somebody's head much better than just a picture of something. It seems like a layup. Like we're here doing the best we can to like get this Trojan horse deep in there. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
from the business side of things, it's a massive competitive advantage, and it's going to start disrupting things that are bigger and more important to people than trading card games. But really, like, this is a cool little first step, and we think, we're happy to like blaze the trail if that's what's happening. So.
That's wonderful. And can you, just for our viewer audience, can you remind us when is that second edition or that second generation of your cards going to be available? How would they be able to purchase or access those cards? And then you said that you're going to release 1 million of them. Do you have a vague idea of what your price point would be for that? And then 1 million cards being sold, that is a pretty significant payday at whatever value you're putting on those cards. So what is the future plan for that after that 1 million mint? Is it, are you gonna kind of put your feet up and sort of say, oh, good, what good boys are we? Or are you gonna, is that how you're going to pay the salaries for your team, or what is the goal and what's the plan post post that mint?
Yeah, we don't have any investors. Like, we don't have to listen to anybody about like what our strategy is. Like, look, we're looking at this from a trading card game, and like whatever you mint 1 million cards, like even if they're $1 a piece. I guess I'll start with our mint is September 21st. You're going to be able to buy it on our website, championstcg.com. There'll be a mint link there. We're going to have it live for a few like local game stores. So honestly, like we would prefer if you bought it through one of their links. Like we want to show these people like how it works. So you can support these local game shops that are like supporting us right off the bat by just buying it through their website link. But yeah, like I was saying, like we don't have any investors. Like we're not here to, whatever. We mint them for $1 a piece. That's $1 million. These markets are taking half or whatever, to provide this to us. But that's 1 million cards is still zero. Like if we're trying to compete with multi-billion-dollar companies, 500 grand that we make is zero. Like we're here to like dump all this on the fire. Like how do we, create a global marketing campaign or push to like use this, because like the money's there. There's potentially $1 billion a year there with Hearthstone and all of these. So like this is nothing. Like we're here to hit a home run. Like we're not gonna sit here. We don't want to get paid like if we're not shipping stuff. So it's not like any of that money's going to a 12-month salary. It's like we're reinvesting it all. Like this is still nothing. Like that's the narrative we keep telling everyone in the Discord and online. We're vocal about everything that we're doing. We're not hiding anything. And like we keep saying, like this is what we need to take a swing at these guys. And the real thing here is like after this million, we're looking at 10 million or maybe 100 million cards, coming into circulation. So this is still just the beginning. The plan here is like the game is not at a level that, we're like extremely excited about, but like people are enjoying it. That being said, it's fun. Everyone that we talk to is enjoying it. But yeah, we want to put these million cards out. We're fine if, we don't expect them to mint out. When these cards get minted out, it puts us as a project in a bad spot.
I really admire and respect your vision and your approach and your dedication to seizing this opportunity to showcase the true value proposition of BSV. And so I guess I want to kind of wrap things up, but I'll ask you. You mentioned something. I think you said that there's 5.9 billion cards in Pokemon. So if you wouldn't mind just talk me through and walk me through, you're about to hit this 1 million card launch September 21st. You have big plans for what to do after that. But talk to me about just the next step in terms of what it looks like to scale up and how much of that 6 billion card asset industry you're looking to disrupt, and maybe just how BSV is the chain that actually enables you to take a crack and to take a swing at such a big, daunting task.
Yeah, that's 6 billion cards. That's just one game. So, I mean, if you're talking all TCGs, there's tens of billions of cards. Yeah, and this upcoming mint for us, like a million, when you're talking these numbers, like that's a million cards is zero, that's 0.001% of a billion. That's nothing. So, yeah, I mean, we're nowhere close to done. Like, if this is just a proof of concept, basically the idea is, yeah, this isn't an NFT project. People need to stop looking at these things like, oh, it got to sell out in 24 hours. Like, we want this to be open for, potentially months. Like, so as we're onboarding these new players, like even walking into these shops now, like we would like to be able to have them get on their phones and buy a pack with a credit card, like right there. And, as people, we have our YouTube and TikToks, Instagram, all of this up and running. Like when people run into that content and they get interested, they need to be able to get on and buy a pack. And like, then you're hooked. Like there needs to be a $5 entry right there with a credit card. So that's what this move's all about. Is just like scaling up from 40,000. We're doing 1 million now. This is still a base test, and give us some time, let these cards be on the shelves for a month or two, like while we improve the game and like get ready for this, like grandioso push to take over, like at least disrupt this industry where there's like it's all marketing funds and partnering with these streamers and influencers and getting in with these stores and talking to different chains or people with inside this industry and yeah, like really tackling that full scale with whatever money that we make from this mint. And then after that, like then we're somewhere that matters. We get 100 million cards out in a follow-up mint. Like now this is something serious. So that's kind of like where we're at. Yeah, you can mint the cards on championstcg.com on September 21st. But yeah, hopefully it's not like, I'm sure there's going to be some rush at the beginning, but it's not going to be like, oh my God, you got to be by your computer in 30 minutes or you're not going to get these, which happened to, a lot of people interested. And that's, that behavior is a detractor or negative for TCGs when they're looked at as like that and people are holding, and we've got a lot of people that want to play and it's just like hundreds of dollars. That's not fun. That's not why we're here. So yeah, this is our next step, before the big one. So yeah, come out and please support us. Appreciate coming on here. And yeah.
I love it. I love it because, we do a lot of discussions with a lot of different developer groups. And what I love so much about your project is just the clear and consistent roadmap to profitability. And what I love about it as well is how BSV singularly delivers you the ability to, while remaining a small team, to actually compete with these giants that are, like we were saying, Wizards of the Coast had $6.7 billion of revenue just in that one product alone last year, and by utilizing the power of the blockchain, you're actually able to deliver a better product and actually compete with these massive monolithic companies. And of course, these companies, they are the same ones that are putting on like the movie houses. We're seeing like the Marvel movies, and we're seeing all these different movies that take this pantheon of characters, these beloved characters that have been built up in the Pokemon TV show and things like this. And as well, the streaming media, where you have different online streamers that are cultivating massive 100,000 million viewer audiences by streaming themselves playing these games. And you're delivering a product that is on par with that at a very, very early stage. I think, how long has your project been up and running, like an actual game right now?
I think it was like, just a few days after the BSV mint, which I don't even know. Like time's going by so fast. I think it was like 3 months ago or something.
Yeah, so a product that is 3 months old that is already delivering like a value proposition and competing with these billion-dollar behemoth companies. So is your goal to reach that unicorn status, to be maybe one of the first companies that can reach that status while leveraging the tools of BSV blockchain?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, literally, so this project's been around. It's, I'm friends. We're all friends here, and it's like been kicked around, but it just like wasn't really possible. I mean, think of this trying to launch a trading card game like off the ground in physical stores and stuff like that's millions and millions of dollars to even give it a try. So us able to do it digitally, which is, we're not the first trading card game to do it digitally. We're kind of just like taking this alternative approach where with these savings and stuff that we can make, instead of like trying to keep it in house, and like we think that only allows you to grow like so far. Like we want to go to these traditional mediums where these 100 million players are going. And yeah, I mean, talking to these physical stores and getting into that distribution channel is the unique thing that we're doing here. There's a few other trading card games that are on other blockchains and stuff, and could do it similar, and even Hearthstone could do it differently. They don't even have to use a blockchain. Hearthstone's printing cards on their own servers. They could do it for free. They could have went around and passed along some of this money. They're selling packs for $5. Like they could have tried to pick up new customers by going to these stores and stuff, but it's Blizzard. They had a built-in customer base. There's really like no incentive to do it because they haven't been, there's no competition that's doing anything different. And that's what we, hope to be like. Yeah, we want to be, it's a lofty goal. Like anyone says, like, I want to come in and compete with Wizards of the Coast, like you just laugh at them, or like Blizzard, especially. Like these are the biggest companies in all of gaming and like some of the biggest companies in the world. And it's like, okay, we got a team of like 4 guys. We, can't, we just like have all the tools. It's like, we say in some of these calls, like the team that just kind of came together. It's like we've got some top talent in like these fields that just kind of, we've been just hanging out in the shadows. And then Bitcoin came along and really ordinals kind of like, spurred this. And like, yeah, our cards were minted on one side, ordinals on BSV, and then Bitcoin ordinals over there. So that kind of like, kicked us to like, oh, okay, like these work as ordinals. This is great. Like, let's do this. And then it just from there, yeah, it's like, we're a rocket. Like, we haven't left the atmosphere yet. We're just like got off the ground. Like, we have a lot of momentum and stuff right now. And, yeah, man, it's exciting. So we are
Yeah.
very appreciative that to be working, with not only chain, that provides us this value, but like a team like Handcash. I'll just shout out Handcash, man. They we throw problems to them, and they get back to us with quick answers, and like are kind of allowing all this stuff. It allows us to focus on the game, and like they can be these NFT crypto payment experts on that end. And it's like, been a great partner for us. And yeah, like I said, we weren't here like, oh, we're doing this for BSV and stuff. Like if Litecoin had a team like that and like could do this, like we'd be looking at that. But like Handcash like has stepped in and like provided crazy value. And it's like, okay, now we just need to go, they're experts in that area. Like we think we're experts in this game side. And that, yeah, I mean, it's just created like, it feels like it's creating like a monster.
Yeah. Well, Miles, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on our show. I'd love to know for the viewers at home, how can they get on board with your game? How can they join your community? And as well, I have a last question for you. Just, for example, Wizards, they are owned by Hasbro, which owns the Transformers brand. I think they even own the Monopoly brand and some of these other things. Do you eventually see that these inroads that you're building with these physical game stores and creating these locations, do you see that could potentially open the door to you getting some other games? Like, for example, one of my favorites is Crypto Fights. Could you potentially be able to leverage these tools that you're developing here to bring other games forward into a digital storefront through physical locations?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our pitch is like, hey, we're here to offer you like we'll set up this digital storefront. It'll be your a unique week link on your website, and like we're also able to provide you with your first product, which is this Champions TCG product. But yeah, like I mentioned before, these stores are being pinched. A lot of them are, hobby stores. They're keeping alive. They personally like paying. They're not making, big bucks here. They're just, it's like a community center. And yeah, like, we think this potentially opens up just a completely like unforeseen model for them to survive the next 20 years. It's not like, some of the feedback we get is like, oh no, like we don't want all of our customers to just buy these cards online or digitally. Like we need them to come up to the store. But like that feeds into all this as well. Like because these are so cheap, you can do things with giving away, store specific skins to these shops as well, and incentivize people to come in and play tournaments, or come in on a Thursday and you're going to get a crypto fights NFT, or, come in here and we're going to give away a, special champion skin. I mean, yeah, that definitely foresee this potentially changing things. And, out of 12 stores, we've had zero negative feedback. It's all been positive. We don't see any reason why, this isn't going to work. And it's exciting. And yeah, you can find us on championstcg.com, discord.gg/championstcg. You can DM us on Twitter. Like I'll hook you up with a free card. So just slide in our DMs and say you listen to us on here, and I'll send you over a card. But yeah, man, like, that's the other thing is like we launched this when everyone told us not to. It's like the worst bear market in the history of Bitcoin. And like, we still sold out, and it's like this hits on a different spot to a lot of people. And, it says something. So, yeah, we're excited to be on shows like this and, listen to the audience out there. And like, yeah, we're working for you. We are you. Like this is community, like a small group of friends that started this project. And yeah, like we're happy to be doing it, and it's just like a win-win for everyone. Super exciting right now. It's a new experience. It's credit cards for these digital products. We think this is a innovative way forward, at least in the short term. And like this is a step in onboarding the world to blockchain and BSV. So
that is music to our ears, and I know on behalf of all BSVers, all people with an interest in Web3, blockchain, gaming, and the next phase of a digital ownership economy, we wish you massive, massive success. Pry that door open and let the rest of us in. We're all gonna follow you. But Miles, truly tremendous. Love your vision, love your power, and wish you massive success. Thank you so much for being a guest on Bitcoin Builders.
Thank you, dude. Talk to you later.
We just listened to Miles Malek, founder of ChampionsTCG.com, deliver a vision of how the blockchain, BSV blockchain specifically, is being used by his product as a distribution channel to reach a global market with assets that can cost him pennies to produce, that have a structure and a framework around it for organized play, for casual play, and hitting that niche of the Pokemon, the Magic the Gathering purist at heart, the nostalgia of what I know is definitely, I've been 30 years as a Magic the Gathering player, and we're seeing just the onset of the go-to-market strategy as these assets begin to hit the gaming industry. Stay tuned for more great Bitcoin Builders content as we deliver you the roadmap for how to build your products and use BSV blockchain to enable them to reach a wide market. Folks, my name is Brett Banfe. Thank you so much for being with us, whether it's morning, noon, or night. I wish you a wonderful day, and we'll catch you back on the next one. See ya.